You know what's better than a good FAFO moment? It's when somebody's done something dumb and they've already very publicly experienced that find out moment, but they're stupid. And so they decide to fuck around again with somebody incredibly petty. Y'all remember just Jen here, who got on the internet with her incredibly stupid fucking accent and told everybody with her whole chest that poor people deserve to starve and not get SNAP benefits because, you know, they've got Louis Vuitton bags and their hair and their nails did and whatever racist caricature she could make up. And then in that same video, you know, she said this.
And I had to use food stamps to get on my feet.
Because she's a fucking hypocrite. So I made a video pointing out that she's a hypocrite and an all-around just horrible human. That went kind of viral. And I'll admit, it was a brutal video. Like, I've had people delete their entire existences off the internet for a video less brutal than this one. But instead of doing that, which arguably would have been just Jen's best option, she decided to private message me and threaten that if I didn't take the video down, she was going to sue me for the slander and defamation of showing people her own words. Jenny, baby, I don't know what in that black tar quoted brain of yours made you think that that was a good idea, but I'm glad you did. Because if you hadn't done that, like the majority of your family I'm sure has done, I too would have moved on with my life and forgotten all about your existence in a couple days. But you doing this made me just petty enough to start looking shit up about you, and oh my God, was there stuff to find. And we all knew you were a hypocrite, right? But my God, woman, like if we were to add hypocrisy to the Olympics, you'd have more gold medals than Michael Phelps. First off, your butthole is in my browser history now, which was an unintended consequence of this deep dive. Like, I know you got the self-worth of a Chuck E. Cheese arcade token, but goddamn, put that shit behind a paywall or something. And look, absolutely no shade to sex work. Sex work is real work. It is respectable work. And if you're good at it, you can even become first lady. We just have no respect for you personally as a human being, especially when you're out here shaming poor people for getting a little bit of extra help with food stamps to put groceries on their table while you're out there buying groceries for your daughter with money you earn selling butthole pictures on the internet. Speaking of shaming other kids' parents about how they afford food, how do your kids feel about the fact that their moms redecorated the entire internet with her meat curtains? And the fact that their mom is the only person I've ever seen with a tramp stamp on the front. I didn't know you could get them there. I thought they only came in the back. They must be so proud. Although that is probably preferential for them to their mom being, you know, a heroin hoe. Fortunately, according to those felony heroin convictions, they didn't get that choice. Do you remember when you said this?
They ain't got money to feed their kids. They want the taxpayers to do that? Well, the taxpayers didn't lie down with you in your bed, spread your legs, and pop out these kids that you want us to pay for.
So by your own admission, from the time you were a teenager till 2011 when you went to prison for it, you were doing acid, meth, crack, heroin, and anything else you could get your hands on. And then you got 2 kids, and one of them's 22, and the other is 7. So with those little facts that you know about your shitty life, you decided to get on the internet and shame people for having kids they couldn't afford, and saying that people don't deserve to eat because they are abusing the system with their Louis Vuitton bags and iPhones, all while you had a kid who was probably conceived while you were getting railed in a trap house for heroin.